Hi. The Rock Move is a project designed to build a monument that represents the union of humankind. How to do this? Well, the idea is to produce a music compilation. So we would get well-known musicians around the planet to contribute music to this compilation, right, in CDs. And this CD would come out with a special thing to it. Each CD would come out with a different serial number and a password. So every CD would be unique. Each CD would represent the person getting the CD. So we've got these CDs, each one with a different serial number and a password, representing the people that bought them actually. What do we do with them now? We've got the internet. The internet is a huge tool common to all the planet now. So you can go into the internet with that serial number and you'll be able to place your name, surname, and the place you're from, engrave it on one of the bricks that is going to build that monument. So suddenly, and through the internet, we've got a lot of people around the planet building this thing together. That'd be amazing, right? Everybody would be in this movement massively contributing to build something together. Let's imagine for a moment that we sell millions of CDs. It's a music production, right? So it could be. Let's say we sell 50 million CDs. That means 50 million bricks, each one with a different name and surname engraved on it, right? From a different place in the planet. So this monument would be huge, and it wouldn't be standing alone. It would be in the center of a site with circles around it of museums, places for art exhibitions throughout the year, theatre, movie theatres, places for food and other types of exhibitions, and probably hotels and an airport. This whole centre would be a touristic centre, a centre for tourism that would represent the union of humankind, all of us working together in communion for a better future. The monument would be in the shape of a dome that will be replicated underground, right? So two sides of one same thing in a way, one underground and one above. As we are separated down the middle, and our left side, if you like, is our spiritual side, and our right side is our material side, in the same way, this monument would have those two sides, with the upper side being the material plane and the lower side the spiritual plane. The upper part of this monument, the dome that represents the material plane, will have 16 entrances to it. And once inside, you will be able to see this huge sphere, structural sphere, right? 75 meters in diameter, it's huge, which will turn really slowly, will be anchored on a special ring, and it will be covered in LED screens. These screens will be constantly downloading images from satellites in space. So what we will be seeing when we go into this monument is the actual planet as it goes by, right? And basically what we want to create is what we call the astronaut syndrome. When astronauts fly out to space, what they do is something that we can't do. They put the Earth in perspective, right? So after seeing the planet out of a window, they come back with a bit of an elevated conscience, and they say, you can't see frontiers, right? Why do we have borders or barriers, right? Or even passports? We're all traveling together on the same rock, right? So basically, the whole idea is that people get to this monument, they see that we've all built this thing together, right? It's full of bricks with names engraved on them from people from different places of the planet. And the bricks are all the same that we are, but respecting our differences, like the names of the places where we come from, right? And when they go in, they will be able to put the Earth in perspective, and as they see I don't know, the fields of Argentina and Chile, and then Bolivia, Peru and Brazil, and then the United States go by, they'll start realizing that we're all together living in the same home, right? So when they come out of there, the idea is that they have a bit more perspective towards who we are. The lower part of the monument that represents the spiritual side of humankind in a way, is underground, will be a tool for people to take an inner journey. So basically, you've gone into the upper part, you've got 16 entrances, you go to this, you get to this huge sphere, and under the sphere, you've got 16 other entrances in the center that take you within, right? So you go in, and in those entrances, you'll find 16 different passages that whirl around, right? And get you to the lower dome where there's a lake. And it's not about images, it's not about sounds like the upper part, the material plane, but it's all about the inner journey and getting to know each other and becoming silent in a way. So you've come to this monument, you've seen that we've all built this thing together. You go in and you see the planet, you put it in perspective. You see that there are no frontiers, that we're all traveling together on the same rock. And then you go within and you go deep down into the planet, into the earth, right? Underground, and you encounter this silent space where you go into a meditative state, if you like, where you start meditating about the experience you've just had. So this whole monument is not just a monument, it's a whole experience, and it's an aid in a way within every human being's process to go within. And that's what we're trying to portray here. We're trying to build this thing together, get people to see it, get people to understand who they are, and when they go under and inwards in a way, they come out with a bit of an elevation of consciousness, understanding that the new paradigm, the shift, and the shift in consciousness has nothing to do with us and them, with activism, with corporations, with bad people or good people, or symptoms, or even illnesses. It has to do with understanding that we're all one and we're integrated into this planet as a whole, as one consciousness, and that the only way to being able to go beyond frontiers and barriers which have to do with the mind, right, and with the body sometimes, and sometimes with the self. The only way is inwards, is that we get to do this journey inwards, that we get to understand who we really are and what we are here to do. And when we come out and come back from that journey, we get to inhabit this planet in harmony. The Rock Move project is divided into 5 stages of production. Stage 1 is an international architectural bidding. Stage 2 is a similar bidding among countries. Stage 3 is artistic production of CD, DVDs and documentaries. Stage 4 is a multinational advertising campaign and site construction. And Stage 5, for me, is the most interesting of all. It's when an organization starts running the place and destines most of the earnings to go out to a worldwide net of foundations that have been doing the work for years to make the planet a better place. You see, money for the planet is like blood for the human body. You need a certain amount of it, 5 liters. You need it to be under a certain amount of pressure, 10.7 or 12.8. And you need to keep it constantly flowing. The better it flows, the healthier the body is. You can't accumulate it in certain spots in your body because it'll make you ill and probably kill you. And you have to keep it flowing to all the parts of the body. Every part is important because every part is a part of the whole. For example, if you don't send blood to your hand, it'll probably catch gangrene, fall off and then kill you. So think of this. If in the Rockmove site we installed a system by which, for example, any place in the planet you go to see a movie and you pay £10, let's say, for a ticket. £2 of those 10 go towards maintaining the theatre. 1 pays the salary of the guy who sold you the ticket, and 7 get deposited in the Isle of Man for a corporation or one guy, right? So what happens if we keep that system running, but the larger amount of everything bought on the site goes out to this worldwide net of foundations to help people around the planet? So think of it. You're sitting, having a meal, the waiter comes up with an iPad, gives you a multiple choice and says 50% of your meal might go to giving drinkable water to some kid in El Salvador or providing food for a family in Kenya. And you choose, right? That would be an amazing way to keep money flowing. Just like blood. In 1998, I was living in New York and started having recurrent nightmares about airplanes crashing against tall towers. 1998. In my nightmare, I'm walking down the street in the island of Manhattan and I look up because an airplane flies over my head really low. I see it crash against a very tall building. While the people are running away from the burning plane, I start running against them towards the plane to see if I can save anybody. When I'm getting there, another plane flies over my head and crashes against another very tall building, which starts collapsing on top of me. I wake up, but keep having that nightmare over and over again 2 or 3 times a week. On September 11th, 2001, at 8:45 in the morning, I had to be on a plane flying into JFK. 3 days before that, a job turned up in South America, so instead of flying north, I flew south, and that morning I woke up 10,000 kilometers away to see my nightmare on TV.
Shift is a band. It's an indie rock group that travels the planet telling the people about the rock move. Initially I'm a musician, so when I was putting all this together, the way to express myself was through music. And yeah, Shift is actually a 5-piece band from different countries. You've got here Andrea as the bassist and the backing vocalist. We've got Mike, who's the guitarist and the music producer. We've got Mike Bates, who's a Londoner, and he's in the UK now playing, and Catherine Vanya, living in Germany, and who's a manager and puts poetry on the screen before we start the show. So yeah, Shift means move. Turn your center into something else and see things in a different way.
The Ark is a world tour filmed on board a sailing boat, where Shift and an amazing team of people from all walks of life will share music, dock in 30 different countries, interview people, share ideas about projects, about sustainability, about consciousness, and travel the planet telling people about the rock move.